It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz lose to the Timberwolves 138-113. After Julius Randle left, Minnesota plus 39. Yikes! Third quarter. That was a beating, PK. There were layups, there were dunks, there were points galore. That thing got blown wide open, and the Jazz dropped to 10-36 on the year.
Well, at least we didn't have to sit here. There's no quitting them because it seemed like
There was 100%. There's one play, the third quarter. Sexton drives to the hoop, throws a no-look alley-oop to Kessler. It's a little behind him. He misses the dunk. Jazz jog in transition. They just throw the ball over the top and get a dunk at the other end. Come on. Come on.
What's more surprising this week? Cannon Ketching's perfection or Keontae George's perfection? How about that?
Ooh. I smell a poll question. It's Friday, people. Yeah.
Oh, I thought, oh, man, did I not put on my deodorant? Because that was good to see, have him come out there and not miss a shot.
I would say that it's Catchings.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Keontae. I'm going to go law of numbers. And I might be reaching for either guy. It might be the real answer might be a push because I just might be reaching to see something positive here. Okay, is somebody turning a corner? But if it's happening, it seems more likely it's with the freshman who is more talented than most of the guys he's out there running around on the court with. There's a reason NBA scouts are here to see him. But there is still something. You've been playing against your own age group or maybe up a year most of your life, and suddenly you have to play against guys who are 2, 3, 4 years older and you have a lot more experience, poise, maybe have been through NCAA tournaments. So that is something to figure out, and it seems more likely that Catchings is the one who figured it out. I mean, they're both a little bit of law numbers because nobody can sustain that. But
as Majerus would say, freshmen, they're 4 years removed from 8th grade.
Yeah, it's true. In most cases, that is true. Jazz are back in action tomorrow afternoon. The old matinee, 3 o'clock Saturday at the Delta Center. Have we had enough of these to see if fans like them or not? I'm curious about this. We're also doing a matinee thing in Big 12 basketball, and in football, it is such a big deal. I mean, it is treated as soon as the time is known for a kickoff. Everybody's tweeting it out, and I get it because people are planning their day around it, right? You're tailgating, you're going out to eat with friends and all that kind of stuff. With basketball, everyone just seems to kind of shrug it off.
Well, it's certainly cost-effective because then they can get out of there and come home, the away team, obviously, as they do in football. And I'm wondering, I don't know this, football, most of the games are they're not on ESPN Plus. They're on some other outlet. So if you're on ESPN Plus, who dictates the starting time?
I don't know the answer to that. I suspect either the teams or the conference. It might be the conference, but I get your point. It seems like there's more wiggle room, right?
Yeah, more freedom.
More freedom. Because on football, it's like, hey, we got to wedge in as many games as possible.
Right.
Here's where you kick it off. In basketball, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know how that worked.
Well, Jake Scott and Tim Lacombe are in favor of it because they're going to be on there with the pregame show at 2, and they are going to wrap up that postgame show by 6:30. I was telling Jake, you're going to be home by 7? You might stream a movie on a Saturday night, just like a normal person.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would think the fans would like it as a diversion.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
You crave NBA playoffs, PK. Did you watch any of that Grizzlies-Rockets game on TNT and think, all right, the second and third, this is plausibly a second-round playoff series right here?
Well, a second Jazz game was over. I always listen to see what Will Hardy has to say. And, I wanted to see if Joe was going to take a shot and all that stuff. But, I flipped right over. I saw the end of that game. It was a great game.
If Joe was going to take a shot. He's taken 3 this year. Will he launch a 4th? No.
Yeah, he didn't really have an opportunity to shoot there. It's kind of turned into a little bit of a sideshow, I assume, in his last year. But good for him, 11 years in the league. But, yeah, Memphis and Houston, that was a competitive game for sure.
Lakers-Wizards was not a competitive game. 134-96. Yikes. A lot of blowouts. Cavs just hammered the Hawks 137-115. And the Blazers blew out the Magic 119-90. Now, the Magic are going to be here Saturday, and they're on a bad run here. They've lost a couple. It's 7 out of 8. It's 9 out of 11. They've got their big names back, but it is not translating to wins. I mean, they were missing those guys. Franz Wagner was out for, I think he was out 6 weeks. And that was a short one, I guess. It was
Banchero was out longer than that.
Yeah, Banchero was out for 2 months. He didn't play in November and December. And since they've come back, it has been difficult. I know you got to reintegrate guys, and we see that all the time. But, 9 out of 11, it's time to get going. You've had a while here.
They got to get healthy Saturday because we don't want the boys to win.
See?
I don't.
The NBA announced the reserves for the All-Star rosters. Victor Wembanyama chosen for the first time. Alperen Sengun chosen for the first time. Any of this catch you off guard? You care, or pretty much what you expected, and on we go?
I pay attention. I don't pay attention to the game. Now I got some crazy format this year. Maybe it'll draw my attention. But I always pay attention to who makes the team for sure. And it seems to me that, as it would be to most folks, Big Vic, this is the first of 15?
You would think, right?
Yeah.
All right, then we've got really good news and really bad news. Which one do you want first?
For me, I'm always a good news guy.
Oh, okay. Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade said he had surgery on his kidney in 2023. The doctors removed the tumor. It was deemed cancerous. They took 40% of his right kidney, but the prognosis right now seems to look pretty good. So good for him. He'd have full body scan, and they'd been able to see the tumor, so they knew there was one when they went in. Good thing they caught that, right? Huh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, good news there. And then the bad news, unusual betting patterns surrounding the play of then Charlotte Hornets guard Terry Rozier in a game nearly 2 years ago are now under investigation by federal prosecutors, part of the same probe that led to a lifetime ban of Raptors player Jonte Porter. Rozier has not been charged with a crime or accused of wrongdoing, but the probe by the FBI is looking into the unusual betting behavior in basketball.
Well, whatever the highest level of crime is in the real world, this is the parallel in sports, right? It just simply is the same thing. You cannot have it because it just destroys the very credibility and integrity. And I don't know why these guys do this type of thing, because gambling is monitored, and I've grown up with gambling, and it just seems like when it happens, eventually it'll get discovered because everything is monitored to the highest levels possible. And maybe people do get away with it, but I don't think they would get away with it for some serious stuff.
And this probe, by the way,
petty stuff.
This probe is apparently stretching into college basketball as well. So it's wide-ranging.
Right, and eventually, I believe you'll get caught. I really do, and I think that it's such of a serious nature, it could literally make whatever particular sport crumble.
Have you ever seen the movie the movie Ocean's 11? Brad Pitt.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right, and George Clooney, and they do this whole improbable ripoff of the Vegas casino.
So many women said that I should have been in that.
Yes, absolutely, you should have. And the thing you talk about with gambling, I mean, the movie's Hollywooded up, right? And I mean, they knock out the power to the whole city. Okay, that's all Hollywood.
Yeah,
but
good movie.
The part it was. I always you can always stop and watch a few minutes of it, right? But the part that is spot on is do not come between the casino owner and their money. They will track you down. They will figure it out. They won't shrug their shoulders and go, that seems weird. I lost a bunch of money. Oh, well, let's go on. No, they will track you down. They will figure it out. They will hunt you down. So to your point, you're not getting away with it. It's going to get discovered. Do not come between them and their money.
Right.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
Southern Utah beaten by Texas Arlington. Tarleton State stops Utah Tech. Idaho beat Weber State. Now, for the main course tomorrow, PK, we have several interesting games on tap, starting with the matinee thing again. 1 o'clock, Utah's at Oklahoma State. They thumped them at home. This seems like a great opportunity for the Utes to get a rare road win and improve to 5-5 in the Big 12 and feel good about themselves. Back at 500, which is the neighborhood that gets you into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, this is a big game for what they're trying to accomplish this season. No question about that.
They did win at TCU. That is their only true road win. They are 1-3 in the real road games. So can they break through? 1 o'clock at Oklahoma State. They came in and just got drilled by Utah. That seemed like it was 20 points right out of the gate. So can they do it again? At 2 o'clock, BYU is at UCF. Similar storyline, a little different, but similar storyline here for BYU. They are 1-4 in true road games, and they lost at TCU and they lost at Utah. Both of those games seemed winnable when they went out on the road, but life on the road is tough. They're 1-4 on the road, so can they get this win? UCF is decent.
They're decent, yes.
They're one game behind BYU in the conference standings, and also overall, BYU's 14-6, UCF's 13-7. BYU's 5-4, UCF's 4-5. So doesn't look easy, but it does look doable. And to get it and to get to 6-4 in league, it'd be a big deal.
It would be a big deal because that's the halfway point. They play 20 league games and obviously 6-4. And I think that if you go back at the start of the season, most teams, maybe not your Houstons and Kansases and somebody else maybe.
Iowa State.
You go, Iowa State now. I was thinking historically, but put Iowa State in there this year. Yeah. If you go 6-4 in this league at the halfway point, you're right on track to go to the NCAA tournament. And for BYU at this point, if you win this game, and UCF is no slouch whatsoever, obviously a long trip. If you win this game, then you certainly are on target, and it seems like you righted the ship from some disappointing losses earlier. That puts you at 6-4. 10 games to go. We're into February because tomorrow's February 1st. I think you're right where you want to be, or more importantly, you're where you need to be in terms of getting a bid. So this is a gigantic game for them. You want to keep the momentum going. I mean, you can say, and then it'll be surpassed in the weeks to come, but right now this is the biggest game of the season and all that stuff.
So the Utes are at 1 and BYU is at 2. Then in prime time, we got 2 first-place showdowns. And I know we still have conference tournaments and NCAA tournament, but there is some magic to winning a regular season title. And at 6 o'clock, Grand Canyon, your Lopes. Are they even officially the Antelopes, or is Lopes now their official name? Does anyone say Antelopes?
They're the Antelopes. It's like, who calls Gonzaga the Bulldogs? It's always the Zags.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking. The ESPN.com actually has them Grand Canyon Lopes printed right on the screen.
Unless it's been changed.
Yeah.
I thought it was all my paraphernalia that is 30 years, 40 years old. They all say Antelopes. I'm a proud Antelope.
UVU trying to win their 11th straight game. They are 7-0. Grand Canyon is now 6-1. So first place on the line, 6 o'clock. And then at 7:30 on FS1, first place on the line in the Mountain West Conference. The Aggies are 9-1. The Lobos are 9-1. Scotty G will be on the air at 7 o'clock. Tip-off at 7:30. You can hear the game right here on the Zone. Big game atop the Mountain West.
Yeah, for the WAC, it's the one-bid league. We'll see it in Vegas and who wins that thing. And then for Utah State, if they should lose it, it's not that big of a deal in terms of the NCAA tournament. But I go with Majerus and say he valued the conference regular season title more than the kind of trumped up thing in Vegas, because he says this is a round robin thing and everyone's, it's a 2-month gruel and all that stuff. And a lot of things he would say were true, and that was one thing I thought was really true, man, because everybody plays. In those days, it was mostly a Thursday, Saturday, sometimes Monday, but you look forward to it every week, and 2 games at home, 2 games on the road, and you just rotated that, and you got in that pattern, and it seemed to me that it was more meaningful than a team getting hot or another team getting cold over a couple of days. So even though it doesn't necessarily matter in terms of NCAAs, I think there's something to be said if you win the regular season title.
New Mexico's 4-2 on the road. They just won at UNLV, a place that Utah State lost, but they did a couple weeks ago lose at San Jose. Yikes. San Jose's not good.
I think this is a bigger game for New Mexico in terms of their NCAA hopes.
DJ and PK.
#NFL.
Football bettors in Nevada beat the sportbooks out of a net $2.1 million. The first monthly loss during the NFL regular season for the state's bookmakers in 12 years. Those casinos, PK, they usually know what they're doing. We don't usually get to see stats like this, and we're surprised these numbers are out there. However, sportsbooks crushed people in basketball and won $15 million and won it back, so there you go. Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker is accused of inappropriate sexual behavior by 6 massage therapists in the Baltimore area, according to an investigation by the Baltimore Banner. Tucker's conduct, according to the article, caused some therapists to refuse to work with him again and resulted in 2 spas banning him from returning. The allegations reportedly occurred between 2012 and 2016, his first 5 years in the NFL. Tucker has called the allegations unequivocally false in a statement. The NFL reportedly will be investigating and looking into this. 2012 to 16, that seems like a long time ago for these allegations to come out now, but nonetheless, here they are, and it is, the accusations come from 6 different massage therapists in multiple spas.
And I did see on social media that he has been acquired by the Cleveland Browns.
That joke spread like wildfire, right? The Browns are giving up 3rd and 5th round draft picks.
Deshaun Watson is.
Yeah, exactly. The NFL has been tracking concussion data since 2015. The league announced this season the fewest number of concussions during the decade. They have been tracking these. A total of 182 concussions during games and practices in both preseason and regular season represents a 17% drop from 2023. So there you go.
I don't know if I believe it because it's something that they're promoting. And if you follow the money, they would have a financial vested interest. Mm-hmm. So that causes me to raise an eyebrow immediately. And what does that mean, though? I don't know enough about it. Concussion. Is my concussion as devastating as yours? Are they all the same?
I would think the answer is no and no. So I think that's where the raw number can be a little dicey. I do think that watching games, and obviously we're not in an NFL town, so we're not around people, and but watching games, it just looks like it's taken so much more seriously than it was
there's no question.
When we were younger. And that would seem like when this generation of players is in their 50s, 60s, 70s, I mean, are there still going to be health effects? Are there still going to be? Yes, I expect there will be, because there's still almost 200 concussions that they're willing to talk about. And to your point, could there be more? And could there be some that are unknown and were missed and weren't tracked? So is it still a problem? I suspect it is. Is it as big a problem as it was 30, 40 years ago? I doubt it. But to your point, we can't really know. DJ and PK.
#Major League Baseball.
Former Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer headed north of the border to join the Toronto Blue Jays. 1 year, $15.5 million. He's 40 years old, pitched for Texas last year, had a 2-4 record, made 9 starts. 15 years on a 40-year-old who made 9 starts. You like that? You like that bet? I mean, that's not the casino bet, but that's clearly a pretty big bet.
$15 million, you mean?
1 year, 15 million.
$15 million. It's worth a fly. See what he's got. It looks like it's the end of the road there as far as that goes. But the great news is we are just a little bit over 2 weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting.
And there it is. DJ PK.
#NHL.
Utah Hockey Club back on the ice tonight. The Columbus Blue Jackets are in town. Adrian Denny will be on the air at 6 o'clock. The puck drops at 7, second of 4 in a row at home. They're going to be back home on Sunday as well. Also, we've got an adjustment, PK. SEG, the finalists for the Utah Hockey Club nickname. Wasatch is out. Outlaws is in. I guess the feedback was a little negative there on the old Wasatch. So we'll see if Outlaws can track down Mammoth and Utah Hockey Club.
The most dramatic name, not name change, but just naming of a franchise in the history of franchises.
Early voting on my Twitter feed, David DJ James, almost 100 votes in. Mammoth, 56%, Outlaws 31%. So Outlaws performing well, but it doesn't look like well enough.
Oh, give it time. The polls don't close till 7 o'clock.
There you go. 10 o'clock, actually. That is what is trending, brought to you by
Eastern time.
What is trending, brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. All right, coming up, the question of the day. David Locke is here at 8 o'clock. Radio voice of the Utah Jazz. Kevin Graham is talking football at 9 o'clock. Stay with us.